We're live.
What's up, y'all? It's
How's
your
it going?
boy, John Darko Chapman, back
John,
again with my man.
Robert Waters. No technical difficulties on my side. My camera works today.
Technical difficulties on my side, as usual. Fucking Sony. I'm not making a good rep for Sony, man, which is terrible because like the cameras are awesome.
We
I'm
gotta
just
get you a
having the goofiness going on right now.
just
But
gotta get you a Canon. You'll be all
get the
right.
fuck out of here. Is that bullshit?
You'll be all right.
Sony till I die, guy. Darn it. I'm cursing early because we're low on subs, but it's okay. But we're going to get up and I can't curse anymore.
Yep, we almost had 100 though, so we're getting there.
Hey now.
We're moving.
Hey now. Not bad for just starting.
Yeah, we're moving.
Grant, we've been behind the ball with a few things, but we're picking up. So once again, y'all, thanks for tuning in.
100%.
It is once again the Cre8tive Pit. Myself, John Darko Chapman, and to my left, I guess, as it looks on the screen,
Yep.
Robert Waters Graphite. And yeah, man. So we are at our 10th episode.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten through a bunch of interviews. We got a bunch more interviews coming up. And today, what we're kind of doing is we kind of pass it off. So I'll do kind of 3 interviews on my side as far as people I bring in. Rob brings about 3 interviews in. And then we'll do, what is that? The seventh? The 7th interview. Well, the 7th show, we'll kind of do kind of like a tutorial. Yeah. So we're at our tutorial spot and kind of Q&A and questions and things like that. And yeah, we're going to get into it in a few minutes. But as usual, we started off. What's going on, bro, with the news and everything that's going on?
Man, crypto market's crashing.
Yeah, what's up with that? I saw what was the one? It's like an offbeat of Bitcoin. It went from like what was it? It was like it was like more than like $1,000 some a share to like fucking zero.
Oh geez, yeah.
What was that?
I don't
a
even
couple
know.
YouTubers put like a couple million in and lost it all.
Oh my gosh, I don't know like the names of all the different coins that are having trouble right now. But if you look like at the Coinbase where it just shows you all of the coins, it's like literally all of them are like just down, all of them, 100% of them, except for the stable coins. But even those are like crashing right now.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that.
No, there's ones that are pegged to the US dollar. It's technical, but even those are crashing. Like they're always supposed to be worth $1 each coin, and they're crashing. So it's
less than $1.
Yep, it's insane. Like it's crazy. Nice. So people are freaking out. So all the NFTs are crashing. Nobody's buying NFTs anymore. Like it's nuts.
Yo, that's like we can get into all kinds of conspiracies and thoughts of this and all. I'm not even going to go there, bro, because like it's new technology. That's all I can say. I think it's been doing this for a while. You know what I mean? It seems like it stays down for quite some time. Then it goes way back up again. Then it goes down for the longest period and then up for a short period of time, back down again. It's kind of the pattern it's showing, but I guess it's still, we'll see. It's still so new. It's still so new. I remember when I first heard about it, that was like 2015. So, and it was like nothing back then. I wish I would have bought it now.
Exactly. Everybody does. I thought, but this is the time. Like when it's crashing like this, if you believe in it, this is the time to buy it.
Yeah. Keyword: if you believe in it, like
right.
it may just be hype, and because it got so popular now that it might not do anything.
We don't know. We have no idea.
It's goofy, man. It was funny. I was talking to somebody the other day about this, and the biggest thing I told them, I was like, just pay attention to whatever the stuff they got going on in the whole metaverse thing. Like it's nothing now, but like once virtual reality and all that stuff really starts kicking in with all of this, is going to go somewhere and turn into the stuff like you see in the movies, like Ready Player One and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Once that starts happening, that like not even like a little bit before that, that's when you need to start paying attention to whatever technologies and whatever to invest into and all that kind of stuff. So that's what the best advice I could give you, what to start paying attention to. Just watch the metaverse stuff and whatever kind of starts getting interesting with that.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of it, buying digital land and digital property and stuff like it's really interesting what's kind of happening because we don't know where it's going to go. But yeah, I think we're going to see that Ready Player One type of environment at some point. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Let's see what else is going on. Doctor Strange killing the
Uh,
box office right now. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it yet. Have you
I
seen
saw
it?
it.
You
Oh
saw it?
yeah.
Is it good? I haven't seen it yet.
Should I give spoilers?
Please don't.
Nah.
Please don't.
Let me get one.
No, I don't want any.
Spoiler.
I don't want any spoilers.
One spoiler.
No, I don't want them.
The
Here,
Illuminati is real.
I'm gonna put my heads.
The Illuminati is real.
Oh,
Come
geez.
on, one spoiler.
No, man, I don't want it. I don't want any spoilers. I just want to see
All
it.
right, let me give me a theory that you have of who's in it.
Who's in it? I mean, I think that they're gonna have
big surprise.
Okay, I believe it. See, I don't want. See, I don't. That's too much, man. That's too much of a spoiler. I don't even want to hear it. Stop it.
Who do you think?
Too much. Huh? Who do I
do you
think? I
think?
don't know. I have no idea, man. Like it's
Because they said what Tom Cruise is Iron Man. They said
yeah, I saw that.
Deadpool.
I don't know, man. Like I try not to think about these things. Like I'm not trying to spoil it for me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I just want to see it. And
Come
be
on,
surprised.
Robert.
You try to know, man.
A little bit of fun here.
It's not
Who do you
fun.
think?
It's not fun.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm just asking. Who do you think?
Well, I think we're gonna see Xavier, like the
They already said that.
yeah, we're gonna see.
They already said and showed it technically.
Yeah, I think they did. Is Patrick Stewart in the movie? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, they showed that. Well, it's his voice. It's his voice
it?
when he's saying it in the trailer.
Okay, it'll be interesting. I hopefully we get some X-Men.
They showed a bunch of trailers. Did you see a lot of those?
I watched like the first trailer and then I don't really watch trailers. Like I try and keep.
So I'm gonna
myself
say
insulated.
this because they showed the trailer of it already. So they did quite a bit of What If from the What If storyline. So they show Peggy Carter as Captain America.
Okay.
So they show her. They show Monica Rambeau as Ms. Marvel.
Okay.
But then there's one other. Give that away. But when you see it, you're gonna go. Well, if I don't know if you're really into this stuff, but people have been hyped, like been wanting it for a while, and what's getting ready to come as far as another comic book superhero and movie.
Okay.
And they show it, and it's like, like everybody like wanted it, but didn't think it was going to happen, and they kept saying like the actor himself was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it," and then he shows up, and you're like,
that's what's up.
Yeah, I mean,
that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
I'll give one little hint. You're you're probably not going to. Let's hope his wife plays the other part.
Okay. Jeez.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
We'll see.
Yeah, it was good. I was surprised. I was surprised how freaking Sam Raimi it really was. I don't know if you know Sam Raimi and what he directs. That's like Evil Dead. He directed the other Spider-Mans, of course, the first ones. He did a lot of horror movie stuff back in the day. Evil Dead, Army of the Dead. That was my shit back in the day. There's a lot of Evil Dead in Army of the Dead.
Interesting.
In this movie, way more than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a typical Marvel affair. I was dumbfounded at how much Sam Raimi was actually in the movie. And I'm a big Sam Raimi fan. I love Evil Dead and all that stuff. All that like zoom in and the kind of almost like goofiness of the horror and like, but then serious at the same time and weird stuff. All that's in there. Like if you ever seen Army of the Dead or I would say Evil Dead too, but especially Army of the Dead. If you've ever seen that movie, whole bunch of that is in Doctor Strange that you just wouldn't expect. That was like, wow. In a good way. In a really, really good way. It was good, man.
Just kind of callbacks. Nice.
It was good.
Nice.
It was good. The Illuminati part is shorter than I think people are expecting. And it really is more about Doctor Strange and his story and all that. But it was good.
That's cool.
What else can I say? Current events are going on.
Anything else going on?
Dave Chappelle got tackled.
Yeah.
That all happened. I don't know. What else in entertainment, photography,
Nothing
film,
that I can
whatever.
think of in the photography space.
Yeah, that's nothing really else big going on that I could think of. No new cameras, no new stuff. I guess I could speak current affairs. I'm getting ready to shoot another project with Justin.
Okay,
Shout
cool.
out.
Yeah.
That's Monday.
Okay.
It's actually a big shoot we got coming up Monday. That's going to be interesting. I'm doing still very catalog type, lifestyle catalog feel, but we're doing a little something interesting with it. And I'm gonna play around a little bit with gels. I can't get too crazy with gels because of the whole fashion thing.
Right. You want the colors of
And
the
so forth.
clothing.
We got to show the clothes, so we can't go too crazy with the colors and stuff. I wanted to. I really, really wanted to. But yeah, that's about it. Trying to think what else is going on. Finishing a couple movie posters that you're going to see on Netflix soon. Can't say which ones.
Oh, nice.
Can't say what the movies are.
Nice.
That's cool. That's it. That's about what's going on. How about you? Any new news?
Nah, not a whole lot of new news. We working a lot on the documentary we shot together out in Dayton. So working with them doing
I'll talk a little bit about that. So we shot a documentary. So I hired Rob to work with me on a documentary that we shot in Dayton, Ohio for HBCU, right?
Yep.
This is something that's going to like BET and whatever and so forth, right? And so we shot this quite a while ago. We shot this back in the summertime.
Yeah, it was like 6 months ago.
It's been a process. I ain't gonna get all deep into it, but this has been a process.
It's been interesting. It's been it was fun. Like the shooting and everything like that was a lot of fun. Man.
We had a lot, man. The campus.
I had a lot of fun. Yeah,
everybody's real nice. It was a small campus, but it was cool. It was quaint.
Yeah.
Had a little fun while we was in Dayton. Me and Rob hung out.
Yeah,
we went to.
Some place my cousin sent
we went to a Midwest to his cousin sent us to this Midwest hood like down south strip club, right?
Oh gosh.
it was hood, yo. It was straight like Cadillacs and the whole nine.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
It was
the big rims and all that.
Man, I got out the car. I thought we was about to get it, man. It was
hilarious.
Nuts.
But, bruh, in the strip club it was nothing special. But real talk, I'll never forget this. They were selling whole little bottles of Henny for like $15. Remember that shit? Was it cheaper than that? That's unheard of in a strip club, bro. Like a bottle service is like what? Like $300, $400, $500, $1,000, depending where you at. It was like $15 pimping.
Here you go.
Like word. I had two of them jokers. He was
walking around the club.
I'm like, yeah. That was fun, man.
That was wild.
So we had a good time. It was a lot of fun though. Like overall, it was a good thing, so forth. But Rob's going through it right now with that.
Oh gosh, it's just it's just the extra stuff, and it's always when it's kind of like last minute, because everything is to the wire at this point. So they have to have everything done pretty much by tomorrow. Like they're trying to turn everything in. And I had like a week to do, a whole lot of extra graphic work. And, this is stuff that I can do, but normally you have a few months. Like if they would have said 3 months ago, we need you to do this stuff, then all of this stuff would have been a lot easier to deal with. Yeah. But, when you have a week and then, they add stuff on and then take stuff off and, they want revisions and they still want that 3-month quality in 3 days. It's hard.
It's hard. Time consuming. You can't do anything else because you're rushing to get it done. And
right. I'm just sitting here I'm sitting here in my office, sleeping on the couch, getting back up, hitting right on the computer, and it's just been a lot. So
the whole time you're saying I didn't charge enough.
I didn't. Yeah, I did, man.
I'm not getting paid enough for this.
This is worth way more than what I'm charging them. But I want to help. You know what I mean. At the same time, you're being kind and
So funny learning lesson while we're on here right now before we get into our show, guys. And we've been on a little bit longer with the news than usual, but we're covering a few things. Our guest right now has disappeared, but he knows it though. I'll say this, man. For this is not something uncommon. You're going to come across this a lot. Everybody watching, tuning in later, so forth. You're going to experience this pretty much more than you think, as far as under the gun, last minute projects need to be done. The Hollywood stuff, especially, it's a norm, bro. Reshoots, stuff got to be turned in immediately. Reviews, yada yada yada. This person wants changed this. That person wants changed this. They're fighting with this with this. Like, it just comes with the territory. And you can't be. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. I was going to say that's the other thing that's been frustrating about it is I'm working through a proxy. So the person who wants the changes is telling somebody else who also has their own ideas. Yeah. And then you know
get a lot of that
when you get the telephone.
The worst is you got like a director, you got the producers, you got the marketing person, whatever, and they're all giving you different things. And they're all feeding into some other dumb shit, or worse, only you're answering to one. You never heard from the others. The one's trying to put in their own shit, and then it's spiraling back, and they're constantly telling you to change stuff, and you don't realize that the changes are coming because they keep trying to do their, you know what I mean? So, and you know, everybody's trying to move ahead and, you know, angle, like, so it's always a bit of a game in how this stuff goes. And the I guess you could say a little bit of the sad part is that you got to learn how to play that. You got to learn to be insensitive to it. Me and Rob had talked about this through the process, is that you got to disassociate yourself with it sometimes. It's not your thing. It's not your work. It's not your whatever. You got to just let it go. Yeah. All right, cool. You want this? Get it done. Whatever. Here you go.
Here you go. Even if you hate it, like it could be something that you completely hate, and you're like,
but they might love it. That's the crazy part.
Yep.
It's not your vision. It's not your thing. So you gotta let it go sometimes. That's why I tell people sometimes, man. That's why I've been a big advocate for myself, as well as I tell other people. Like, I see too much sometimes. I even see in like YouTube tutorials and all this other stuff. Like, people always like, this is how you get jobs. This is how you work for other people. Like, pardon my French, but like, F working for, like, learn how, like, bro. I'm not saying don't, like, do your thing, work for other people, do other jobs, whatever, but start creating some stuff for yourself.
Yep.
Start creating some project stuff that's your own thing that you're trying to spin around.
Right.
All right. Always. Because you don't want to be working for people for the rest of your life. Even when you get to the big leagues, bro, even when you get to the bigger stuff, there's a reason that you start seeing people creating their own labels, their own marketing thing, their own companies and studios and whatever, because like you don't want to work for someone else, because the visions, and the bigger and bigger it gets, the goofier and goofier it gets, because there's more and more people. There's too many hands in the pot. I was just watching the thing about, that's why Hollywood movies are kind of sucking right now, right? That's why Netflix is going down the tube, because there's too many cooks in the pot. It's too many people putting their hands in, too many Indians and not enough chiefs. Right. You know what I mean? Right. I'm sorry, too many Chiefs and not enough Indians, I should say. There's too much of that stuff going on, man. So you gotta watch that stuff. Who we got on here? Kiera Rose.
What's happening, Kiera?
What's going on, man?
Glad to hear you. Or glad to have you here.
I have no idea who you are, but hello, nice to meet you.
100%.
All right, so we're gonna bring on our guests real quick. And we're going to get into a tutorial session. So any of you guys got any questions? Any of you guys got any comments, things you want to leave, so forth? Always we post them. Always we'll add stuff. And let's get into it. So this is a very, very special guest, because this young man also works with me. He has assisted me and worked with me on projects. He started off kind of interning assistant with me. I can't say intern because I think a first job start paying him right away. But he assists me from time to time, and you know, we do different stuff and so forth. And he is his own budding filmmaker and photographer as well. I also have another assistant that we're going to bring on here soon as well. So yeah, I mean, look out, shout out for him too. Shout out to Elliot, Low Lens Photography. We're going to bring him on as well. But this time around, we have my man Black X. Xavier, as I like to call him, Javier.
I was waiting for it.
And yeah, this young man is a very, very skilled and budding photographer and filmmaker and cinematographer, doing his thing. Graduate from, where'd you graduate from again?
Cabrini University.
University. And yeah, man, so we're bringing him on to kind of go over some of his projects and some of the stuff that he's done. and we're gonna go over some things and show them some new things and so forth. And as I was saying earlier, I'm gonna let Rob take the reins on this one a little bit because Xavier's had a little bit of me, and as well as this style and some of what Xavier shot in these pictures you're about to see, is very much up Rob's alley, so forth. So we'll kind of go
Fair
from
warning:
there.
this isn't my best work. For the people before they be like, "Oh my god, that's what he chose." Like,
Hey,
Nah,
listen. First of all,
You're thinking about it way too hard.
one thing I always used to hear from my art teachers is don't do that. Anytime that you are showing off your work, don't start out with the caveat. This isn't my best work.
right?
Just be confident in your work. This is what you did. This is dope. That's what it is. And let us look at it and assess it and go through whatever it is. But yeah, don't do that.
Gotcha.
Right on. And more importantly, no, you actually chose something good because this is that kind of neon two-tone gel lights and all that kind of stuff that I'm sure you've seen in his work before, Xavier.
Yeah.
Like Rob's a beast at this.
That's why I pretty much chose it. Try to see something different.
See, you ain't want my help. That's you,
nigga. I'm gonna get yelled at you regardless. I'm gonna get yelled at you regardless. Figure I get yelled at by somebody different.
So I guess Rob, pull up one, whichever one you want to go with, and
so we'll just go through them real quick, just so we can see the ones that he gave us. So anyone
watching, I don't mean to cut off, but anyone watching, if you got any questions, anything you guys want to ask, anything of how do whatever, so on and so forth, feel free to ask any questions you want and so forth, and go from there.
100%. So yeah, I like all three of these images. As far as compositing work, there's not a whole lot of compositing that I would do with these images. I would just kind of just enhance these. These are great as is because of the environment, because of where she is. This set is already a dope set. It doesn't look like it was shot for compositing. Now,
it wasn't. No.
Now this one right here, this one we can do more with because of the way the background is. It's a little less busy in the background. There's not as many things. So it'd be interesting to see what we could kind of pull out of this and kind of do to enhance it. I have a particular style that I go with for a lot of this kind of stuff. So let's see what we can do with this. So normally when I do any picture, I start off in Lightroom. I know a lot of people don't like Lightroom. It's not their favorite thing, but nice thing about Lightroom is everything you can do in Lightroom, you can do in Photoshop. So there's no difference really whatsoever. It's more an interface thing. I personally like the interface. So what I usually start out with is kind of flattening out the image. So I reduce the contrast, bring down the highlights a bit. And this is actually something John kind of put me onto because I was not doing this before. And it kind of helped me with making sure that my color and everything is where I want it to be. Bring down saturation a little bit, bring up the vibrance, and we'll add a curve. The way I usually do curves is just 3 points on the curve for the most part: midtones, shadows, and highlights. So shadows down here, midtones up top, and highlights. And I just make sure there's not too many harsh transitions in color. I don't like harsh.
If you're showing your screen on Lightroom, I can't see it.
You know what? Huh, that's weird. Okay, hold on. Let me do this a different way. 1 second. Let's do this with the let's just do the screen. There. Now you should see it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So back to this. Okay. So I'll just go back over what I just did. I'll turn this off. Turn it off. Off, sir. Oh, really? All right. All right. So we're going to double click all these and we'll get rid of them. All right. So the basic ones, I didn't do anything with exposure. I almost never touch exposure. Contrast down, and we make this little Z pattern. So highlights, drop the highlights, raise the shadows, drop the whites, raise the blacks, and it gives you this kind of flat image, kind of like a log image that you would get with a camera.
Yeah.
Or with a video camera, because it's you can apply a lot to it. Increase the vibrance, reduce the saturation a little bit, and then we'll go with the curves. So shadows, midtones, highlights, and I think this is pretty okay. Yeah, pretty decent. All right, so we're looking good here, and we'll continue to enhance that. So I like to edit non-destructively. So we start on a new layer. Close these, so we aren't using up system resources along with StreamYard. And my first thing is, what do I want to clean up? A lot of times I'll work on the skin, and just make sure everything is clean on the skin. Now, this particular image, it's not super high resolution, so there's not a whole lot that we need to do with the skin because the resolution is already taken care of, making the skin fairly smooth. So it's not bad or anything like that. But I like to take out stuff like these necklines because I've never met a person who wants to keep them.
Let's get that turkey neck.
Called a gizzard.
Yeah.
That gizzard, baby.
So we take out the necklines.
That neck bone.
Bang. And usually there's blemishes and stuff, but there's really not. Her skin's really not bad in this image. You can do some of the discoloration of the skin with this tool if you want to. This is just the clone, the healing brush. You can take, you can do that, but just it's all just sampling and stuff like that. Next, I would take out a lot of the distractions around the image. So a lot of this stuff on the wall, a lot of these cords can go. Do not need them. And I actually use a combination of this and the patch tool, because when you get close to stuff, that healing brush likes to create these little blooms.
Yeah.
That are annoying. And so you'll see them. You've probably seen them before, but that. So when you get close, we do that. So let's get rid of all these cords. And I'm doing this speedy because I don't want to people get bored just kind of watching all of this. Cracks in the wall, they can go. I want to make this background as flat as I can personally. I just kind of want it out of there. Now this right here, this speaker is really not. You could take it or leave it. I mean, it's an interesting element in the image. Might be useful. We'll leave it for now. But we could take it out or put it back. It doesn't really matter. All of this stuff can go. All right. So that's basically the first step, is just the cleanup. Just want everything to be kind of this cord here, kind of clean. So that's not bad. And now that I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the speaker. What you clicking over there, John?
Huh?
What you clicking over there, man?
Don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about what I'm doing over there.
Playing Call of Duty, man?
Nah.
All right. Yeah, I think that's cool. And we'll go ahead and crop this. Make it a 4x5 because Instagram likes things. Bang. All right. 50. All right. So then we're going to go ahead and duplicate or kind of merge the layer above, and we'll do some dodging and burning. Again, this one doesn't need a lot of dodge and burn, but this is just the process I go through. Pretty much the same every time, no matter what image I'm doing. I go through the same steps, and that's what you want to kind of develop as a process, because that's how you get faster at your editing, is having a process that you can go back to time after time after time again. It really speeds up your process because you can practice it and get good at it. Now, a lot of times I'll get in, super deep, super close, and really, really dodge and burn stuff like skin and things like that. In this particular case, there's not a whole lot of detail in her skin, so it's not really going to be super useful to do it. Yeah, there's not much to do there. But basically, you're making the darks darker, lights lighter, in very small areas, and it really helps to smooth out the skin altogether. And the next step being frequency separation, the more time you spend on your dodge and burn, the easier and the more, the better results you'll get out of your frequency separation. If you do frequency separation, some people just do dodge and burn. I have not gotten to the point where I'm that good at it.
Of what?
At just dodging and burning, to the point where I can just do a picture with only dodge and burn and not touch frequency separation. There's some people who can do that. I don't know how to do it.
I can do it, but that's so time consuming. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've never.
It's time consuming, no matter what.
Is it? Yeah,
it really is.
I have not gotten to the point where I felt like my dodge and burn was good enough to leave it as is. So I don't know. I had to talk to a serious retoucher who just retouches about that. The person that I kind of learned my technique from was Cre8ive. He has a really good tutorial, or a set of tutorials on Cre8tive, which is a site for, that just has a lot of great photography tutorials. Like if you want to learn retouching, that's a great place to start. Who's Cre8tive, Cre8ive. Separation. All right. So next. All right. So my frequency separation, I do a little bit different than most people do. I don't like to blur skin. So what I do is I put a layer in between, and I paint. Now, this technique is, the better that you are at digital painting and the more you understand the process of digital painting, the better this step is going to serve you. So what I do is I basically paint the color in between the layers, in between the texture and the color layer, and it does a really, I think, a superior job at really blending and smoothing out the skin. Or kind of smoothing out those transitions.
Whose phone is that?
That was me.
Not it. What do you think so far, Xavier? Anything? Have you seen anything that's different than what you do, or is it similar?
Yeah. I'm noticing how you colored it in. I can see like the purple hues that's actually coming into it. And I actually liked how you cleaned up the background. Me personally, I would have just left it there, just given the circumstance of the nature of the shoot. But you know, I do appreciate now that I see what it looked like when it's not there. I do like that.
What do you mean by the nature of the shoot?
So this was like a photo event me and my business partner put together. We sold tickets just to come to the set, take pictures. They only getting 4 pictures per person. So we're like, they understand that we're not doing no crazy heavy duty editing.
Gotcha.
No crazy heavy duty amounts of color correction and stuff like that. Kind of just come drink some wine and take some pictures and go home. Kind of something like that.
Makes sense.
So I didn't want to like spend time and effort going through 1,000 pictures when only I'm sending 4, and realistically I'm only editing 2 of them.
Right.
So I just got to call through the best 2 from each person that was there, and there was like 20-something people there.
That's what's up. You can always add stuff like that on as upsell. You know.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're talking about doing now.
Yeah.
So now that I see you doing it, now I can know what to look for in Vision.
So let's see, how's that look? So you can see the difference here. Not a huge difference, but it's the differences kind of stacked up together over time. That all right. So we'll do that's enough frequency. Actually, you know what? One other thing you can use your frequency separation for if you feel like it. And I kind of like the textured background, so it's, you know, this is a take it or leave it step, but it can help with evening out your backdrop.
Talk about with the blue hues and everything in the color.
Yeah. If you want that, like this, I don't mind this background being textured the way it is, but if you want that,
I have a really weird eye where I like notice like the smallest things, and then once I see it, I can't unsee it.
So that's everyone.
Okay,
that's everyone.
Like once
totally
I see
everyone.
I can't unsee it, and it be making me feel like I ruined the whole fucking picture. I ruined the whole picture when I didn't in actuality.
That's everyone. I do the same thing to this day.
I have like hundreds of pictures. John's seen them. I have like hundreds of pictures that like I feel like are good, but then I just like kind of like talk myself out of like releasing.
Oh yeah, dude. For the most part, and this is, you know, most part, you have to kind of disassociate yourself with the emotions behind the picture and just let it go and just, you know, just put it out there. Because people appreciate more seeing the work. And yeah, I'm sure you've noticed, you know, you might see a picture that you think is garbage that you've taken and people love it. People just, you know, oh man, this is great.
Bro,
you know,
it's all about before and after now. It's crazy how much people respond to the before and after compared to really anything else. I mean, a great picture is a great picture, but you know, it's just something about seeing the whole process of it that just people just gravitate to. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I took a picture that was like super. The best way to describe it is so immature. It was just super butt. Like it was just like the worst picture I probably could have sent to somebody because I knew I just didn't feel like doing it, and they loved it. And at that point in my career, I realized people don't actually know what a good picture is.
Nope. They have no idea.
At all.
They have no idea.
Average person doesn't have any clue.
Nope.
Average person like that. That's the same as like you know, film, video, photography, audio. Like you could sit someone down with a trained engineer, and the engineer could do a bunch of things and change the stuff to be, you know, a professional sound, and the person isn't going to know the difference. They'll be like, I don't hear anything of what you did. You know what I mean? So it's a trained eye, a trained ear.
Now, when they compare the images, sometimes they can see it, like they can see the difference between a bad picture and a good picture. But most people just, when you hand them an image, they either like it or they don't, and they don't even care. It's like, that's me. that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, it's the
Don,
finished product.
I just emailed you another picture so I can see a better example of what he means by with the dodging and burning with the cleanup.
Okay. Yeah, I can help you with that. All right. So this step right here is my contouring step / dodge and burn. This actually, for me, this is part of my look that a lot of people can notice when they see my pictures. I think this step right here does it. Like, a lot of people will ask me, like, what is it about your pictures that's, why is it look that way? And for the most part, I can't put my finger on a lot of it. But this step right here, I think, is a lot of the.
What's the step, Rob? Yeah,
my dodge and burn step.
When you do the posterize and all that.
Yeah.
So talk through a little bit how you actually do that.
Okay. So I do. Okay. So basically, these layers right here are helper layers. So the posterized layer helps break up the color in a way that here. Where's the oh, there it is. Okay, so you can do it in levels, and the more levels you do, the closer to smooth it's going to be. But as you break it up, you can see it starts banding. And what it does is it really helps you see the darks and the lights in a picture. So you can look at the picture without paying as much attention to all the extra stuff that's around it. And then when you put the black and white on it, all you're focusing on is those dark and light values. And so when you paint over, when you mask, when I do my, I'm sorry. And then underneath that, I have my curves. So I have a curve up and a curve down. So this is just kind of an overall curve up. And then this is an overall curve downwards, just to darken the picture and to lighten the picture overall. And then I put a mask on top of each one of those, and then I paint in darker over the dark parts, lighter over the light parts, and that's going to give you the more exaggerated darks and lights. So I take it's like a 1% brush. I always use a 1% brush and on flow, and just paint over it a bunch. And you can see, like, if you look closely while you're doing it, you can kind of see how it changes. You'll notice that it gets a little bit lighter, like that. Now you can take this to the extreme, and it gives it this really cartoony, very exaggerated look. But yeah, anything that's bright in the picture, I try to brighten up. And anything that's dark in the picture, I try to darken down a little bit. And that.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna kind of reiterate a little bit back and forth between a lot of previous people that we've had on the show and some of the tips that they've given that apply a lot to what's going on right now. So one was the last episode we had, which was Sick Art, and definitely Xavier. I'll tell you, go back and watch that episode and see some of the stuff that we talked about with Sick and some of his work. Sick uses a lot of dodge and burn to pull and push his background to make the background pop, make the subject pop, make the background sit back, and all that kind of stuff. He'll use a lot of dodge and burn to create that, which is something I've never done before. So like now I just started applying some of that. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Right. So some of that's going on. Try and give you another example.
Oh, one other thing, and when as it pertains to that, the using dodge and burn on the background, that enhances perspective as well, because things that are bright come closer to the camera, things that are dark recede away from the camera. So you can enhance the perspective of your image by applying dodge and burn to the image as well. Yeah. Or enhance the depth, I should say.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, some stuff like that. So yeah, It's quite a bit. There was something with Ed too, but I totally forgot now.
Did I cut you off and make you forget? I'm sorry.
Nah, I wasn't. I just totally forgot. But I'm doing like 3 things at the same time. But yeah, man. So this was a technique that Rob showed me a while ago that I never used before, and I started using. And one thing I noticed with doing this technique, Xavier, it's what gives that kind of still sharpened but soft look that Rob be having going on in some of his pictures sometimes. He has this very kind of soft look to his feel of a lot of his pictures where like the light feels like it's melting into the subject that I don't have. My stuff's a lot more harsher and like direct and, you know what I'm saying, more straight black lines than his stuff. And it's something I've actually been working on to create more of a softer tone and stuff in how I do. So I started applying some of his techniques and so forth.
All right. I like this darkness over here. We'll add some more darkness over here. And we'll give some darkness across the top. All right. So now, when you see it,
zoom that in a little bit. Just a little bit. There you go. So show before and after. Did you hear me? Did Rob freeze?
I think he froze.
I think he froze.
Yeah,
I already see the before and after though. Like the background looks softer.
Yeah, she looks softer.
Yeah, and more pronounced and so forth. Once Rob comes back. So I think some of the next techniques that I would do with this is I would get into lighting effects. So I would either do a combination of, if I'm doing it fast and lazy, I'll use a program that I told you about before, Rob. I'm sorry, Xavier, which is Oniric.
Okay.
So with Oniric, I'll take the lights that you got at the top and the bottom, those 2 spotlights, those 4 spotlights or whatever.
It was 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do something interesting with those. And then I'll take the triangle tube lights, gel lights that you got going on. Rob's computer crash. And I'll use those. So a matter of fact, let me try and pull that up real quick. I'll just add. And I'll show you that trick. It won't look like Rob's because he did all that stuff, but it'll give you at least an idea. Downloads. That's what I get for not saving those files as separate. They're stuck in my downloads. I'm actually curious to see how Rob does his lighting, because I don't think he uses Oniric like that. Screw it. Do it the other way. There he goes. Rob's back.
all right, can you hear me now?
There we go.
All right. Ugh. Stupid.
So Rob, I was kind of saying to Xavier, and I'm actually literally pulling up right now, but I'll kind of just let you take the reins back with it. Is like the next step I would do after all the retouching and everything is go into the lights. So he has like those 2 spotlights. He's got the tube lights around the subject and so forth. I told him like I would start adding Oniric and a bunch of different stuff to start playing with that and so forth to create so on. So you can kind of go from there. I'm kind of interested to see how you do your lighting effects too.
All right. Let's get it. Hopefully, I didn't lose everything that I've done up to this point.
And I'll add to that. I'm gonna ask one more question because I saw the picture that you just added, Xavier, and I sent it to you as well, Rob. Just looking at the G Drive. Do you know how to remove tattoos?
Yeah,
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna show you that after Rob's done.
All right. Well, I didn't get pushed too far back. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just making sure. Okay, I didn't get pushed too far back.
That's what happens when you have those bullshit PCs. I'm just saying.
Man, I'm just saying. You
Micro
know what?
bitch. I call it Microsoft bitch. That's what Macintosh is
I have
for.
both a PC and a Mac, and I can agree that they both are equally shit.
Yeah, they're getting there. My Mac don't crash nearly as crazy as PC does, but
no, you just when you update your Mac, you lose your codecs.
Well, first you never update your Mac. That's a number one rule.
Yeah,
you never update.
I had to find that out the hard way. The day a wedding, the way a wedding.
Was that the time we talked about like your whole thing crashed in that time?
The whole I lost the codecs because of an update.
Yeah, never. You don't with a Mac. You wait at least 2 years before you update.
Are you serious?
Yeah, very serious. Because the problem with Mac, like Mac will update their stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your third-party software, sometimes your first party, and especially your third party, hasn't caught up yet. Microsoft, they don't do that. All this stuff catches up before Microsoft releases something. But with Mac, they'll release stuff and go catch up, niggas. Like, real talk.
That's funny.
Your codecs will somehow get put in your music folder.
Everything will get goofy, especially if you got any third-party software. Especially
and
with
what's
like
crazy,
Logic.
I was using DaVinci Resolve and it couldn't read Blackmagic footage. That's how you knew it was the laptop.
So my computer, I don't know what happened to it. I actually got and it sucks when you have to get your computer fixed. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to get my computer fixed, but I need my computer.
Yeah.
So there's a problem with my power cord. So my battery, it's the battery doesn't actually work. So anytime I lose any type of power to my computer, it shuts off. So I got to get that fixed, but I don't know how long it'll take, and I'm not trying to be without my computer for weeks.
For what, a power adapter, John?
No, it's the battery. So the power cord is fine.
It's a laptop.
Yeah, it's a laptop. So until I can get another computer, which I'm trying to get here soon, once I get my credit up, which is what I'm working on.
Get a business account with a Mac.
No, I'm not getting a Mac. I don't want a Mac. I don't use Macs. It's not my thing. I like 3D software. I like using Blender, and I like Windows.
Windows.
Yeah, I got a Surface 3.
Windows is bitch though, but real talk. Don't get me wrong. Mac is ridiculous with the prices, and I'm kind of done with it. But
Windows is fine. Like especially now, like since Windows 10, since Windows 10, Windows has really been pretty solid, man. Like I don't have a problem with Windows.
We don't want to talk about Windows XP.
Yeah, XP was good.
I still have a laptop that runs off of that.
That's crazy.
XP was the worst, bro.
Oh my goodness, I never had problems. Like I've never had huge PC problems.
Well, as far as PC goes, whatever you do, if you plan on doing any type of editing with photo or video, do not get that Surface tablet. It runs a 32-bit version of Photoshop.
Oh,
like it only runs off of 32?
It only runs off of 32 bits.
Oh, all right. So here's the change. So I do this not only because when I do frequency separation, you kind of flatten out the image a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So because you're blending the colors together, you lose a lot of volume. So adding contrast back, it brings a lot of that volume back to the subject, gives them the roundness that they kind of lost when you did the frequency separation. Gotcha. So that's why I do that. But also, like, if you really want to push this, you can. And like I said, it gives you a really cartoony type of look. So you can really push this up. Really push this. Really pushes down. So if you really want to push the curves,
dodge and burn.
Yeah, with the dodge and burn, like you can really
exaggerate.
Really exaggerate it, and it gives it this this cartoony, surreal, almost kind of look that looks good sometimes if that's what you're going for. So it's just something you can play with, but I tend to tone it down just a little bit because I have a tendency to go overboard with it, heavy handed with my my pen pressure and all of that. So
Rob, go into lyric.
All right, you want to go into it now?
Yeah.
I'm not to that point yet, man. That's like the last thing I do.
Man, what you gonna do, like 100? You only got 2 hours, bro. Come on now.
That's the last thing I do. All right, so because we gotta. All right, so next thing, we're gonna select our subject because we want her kind of separated from the background. So we don't need any of that in there. All right. Yeah, no, Nyric's is a finishing touch, man. It's just a little oomph on top of everything else.
So hold on, wait a minute. So you separate the subject to use on Lyric?
No, I separate the subject so I can add in my lights. So for this one, I would actually enhance this light because it can be.
Because so I don't know what he's about to do. I'm gonna wait till he does what he does, but like, I actually don't separate the subject when I use Oniric specifically, just because the way Oniric works and the way that it has a masking tool in it already, you actually want it to affect the subject a little bit, and you can use the masking tool to kind of hide where you want it to and not to, because when you separate the subject, just the background and just Oniric, right, it's only going to affect whatever is not cut out, right? But once again, I'm gonna shut up and let me see what Rob does before I go in there. And I'll be right back. Gotta use the bathroom.
Take your time. All right, so we're gonna go up to 20. Yeah, that works. All right, so we're gonna stroke this. Wait. Stroke path. Brush. Bang. All right. So and I might do another one. To transform back. Let's do this. And we're going to stroke it again. I want this a little bit smaller. And we're going to do this one more time. All right. We can get rid of this. All right. So next up, all right. So we'll do color overlay.
So what in the world did you do?
I put my own little thing on it.
Oh, I had to be fancy.
I gotta be fancy. I put my pinky up while I did it too. No, I want an outer glow. The color overlay is a little bit much. All right, cool. All right, and There's the screen. Perfect. I like that. And we're also going to.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought she was gonna add motion blur to one of them.
I actually will. So what I do is add
I
a
saw as
Gaussian
you were
blur.
doing it, I kind of saw what you were trying to put together in your head. I was like, oh, all right, I see what these guys are thinking.
So you do a little Gaussian blur to the one in the back, and then that enhances the glow a little bit.
Got you.
It gives it a little more. Okay, so next I want to. Oh, that's not what I want. A wrong brush. There we go. And oh darn it, I don't want that. So we will erase this speaker. All right, speaker box magnetically shielded or not. And we will also oh, that's why. Aren't you making any colors? Ever do that? You're like, why is it not working? You find out you're touching the wrong tool.
Did he freeze again?
Nah,
I thought you knew.
Yeah, when he turned, it kind of scared the shit out.
You like kind of stopped talking on the dime.
All right, Rob, show Neric and kind of like the phase of which you go through with that. I got everything you're going, but we're on a time scale here.
Oh, where we at? We're at an hour. All right, hold on.
Yeah, I gotta show him how to take out tattoos.
Ah, I got you. You want me to take this one off?
This one.
She
go
has a
ahead.
tattoo here. All right, so
I might say I sent another picture with a tattoo that's in higher resolution, so it'll be easier to see.
Yes, it's a more portrait, so we'll get into
got
that.
you. No worries. Yeah, we'll let you do it, John. Tattoos, because you might have a technique that's different than mine. I just try to clone it out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna guess.
But I'm sure you could probably paint over a lot of it too. It depends. I don't know. I want to see what John does. I'm curious now.
It's all for
right.
separation.
Okay. All right. So we have. I guess this works. All right. So, Neric, generate this. Because I didn't get to. Radius on that. Let's threshold down a bit. There we go. Exposure. There we go. X. Save. Bang. That's basically it.
I'm guessing the Nyric's a plugin I can buy.
Yeah. And then you can
yeah, I'll go over a little bit of if you don't have Oniric.
Yeah, I mean,
I would highly suggest Oniric, bro, just because it cuts it cuts quite a bit of time down.
Mm-hmm. Bang, and just add a little bit of something in here. What? Gradient map. Like it. Picasso.
Okay, I like it. Picasso.
Yeah, there we go. Cool. That's
nice.
it. Yeah, you can add a extra. Hold on, let me just add one more curves on there.
See, it's like the only thing I say I would add to it would just be darkening it and making her pop more in the background darker.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go, man.
One other thing, just to add a little bit of spice, you could stick a hold on, where's my library?
But see Xavier, how just in him doing that, it's got that softness to it.
Yeah.
It's very interesting how he does that. Like my stuff will look very different because of that.
He also made it look like he got smoke in the picture.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. That's what I like. Like a mist.
It's like an atmosphere to it.
Yeah.
That I don't always make happen in mind that I notice Rob makes happen.
Paint splatter.
No, this is not a good one. Let's delete that. Cancel. This still says Adobe stock on it. I know I have a good one. There we go. And I would have done this a little bit differently. I would have done this before New York, but it is what it is. Let's see. Ask. But yeah, particles give that atmosphere as well. So that helps a little bit, making it feel like it's in space. It's happening in 3D space. And we can screen this. Screen. Duplicate it. There we go.
Nice. All right. So that's kind of that. And as you see, it's Robert to the fullest.
What I do.
Which is dope, bro. But no, it's dope as heck. Like I just love how you create that soft atmospheric feel that I sometimes struggle with. And you guys just saw kind of a few steps by steps of how that happens. All right. So let's go on. I'm gonna.
So let me go ahead and remove this. There you should go.
Let me find the one that you sent me. That's not the one you sent me. That's not the one you sent me. Uh-oh. Where's the one you sent me?
No, I seen it. This is gonna be real sidebar and real random, but I seen this artist challenge. It was like if you was to take your arm and to like rotate it this way and then take your opposite arm and go the opposite way, can you do both at the same time?
What happened? What? That was about as random
So
gets.
like it's an artist challenge. So like you go this way with this arm, and then this arm you go this way. But then when you try to do it at the same time, it has like a brain fart. Your body physically can't do it.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, that's the
Except for
same
me.
as like
I can
chewing
do it.
gum, rubbing your head, rubbing your stomach, and walking at the same time. Like you kind of fuck it up.
But the other one is being able to spin, like do this arm this way and then the other arm this way. So being able to
Yeah.
spin them both ways. Yeah. It's
Okay.
weird, but I can do it. I can do it.
So let's get into this one. Biggest thing now, Xavier, this was a JPEG you sent, but it really doesn't matter for what we're about to show. What I'm going to go over, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal for this. What I'm getting ready to show is just how you get rid of a tattoo correctly. All right. So first thing you do is we're going to use what's called a frequency separation. Now, this is a computer I usually don't edit on, so I got like some old actions and things on here. So right now I'm using Josh Mills' action for frequency separation because I don't have my own on here because this is an old computer. Okay. So I'm not going to go over frequency separation and all the stuff that's entailed with that because there's literally so many tutorials on Photoshop. I'm sorry, on YouTube and all that kind of stuff on how to create a frequency separation. There's so many, it's not even funny. So I'm really not going to go over that. There's plenty of ways to learn how to do that. The biggest thing I will give a suggestion on with frequency separation is there are two types of frequency separation. There's Gaussian blur frequency separation, and there's median frequency separation. I use median. The reason being is because the Gaussian blur kind of blurs everything. So when you use the different layers and tools in frequency separation, it tends to muddy things a little bit compared to if you use median. It's a little bit more direct. Now, some people like the muddying because if you're taking your brush down to like 1% and the way that you're blending, it actually kind of helps the blending sometimes. But if you're using more median, it's a little bit more direct, I feel, and it doesn't smudge things as much. So that's all I can tell you. So with that, let's get into this. So for those of you who know frequency separation and those of you who don't, frequency separation does two main things. The biggest thing that it does is it separates the detail or the texture of a picture in the pixels that create the texture, and it separates the tone of the picture, right? Or the color of the picture. So what it does is it allows you to separate and work specifically off of texture or off of texture or off of color. All right. So that's pretty much what we're doing. And usually it's labeled as high and low. So high is texture, low is color. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to first work completely just off of the texture, off of the high. So when you pull up frequency separation, it usually is going to give you two different separate things. One is going to look like a gray layer, just a completely flat gray thing. And the other is going to be kind of the picture itself, and it's going to say low. All right. The rest I'm not going to get into. Once again, there's so many tutorials. You can go to Flern. You can go to, what's the Indian guy with the unibrow?
Pixel
Imperfect, and on and on and on and on it goes. All you got to do is look up frequency separation. A million things will pop up in YouTube, and you can learn how to create one. It's very easy. All right. After you create one, you're going to have these two separations. So here you're going to see, you see the high and you see the low. Now you see two versions of high. The only reason is because I created a clipping mask, so it becomes a little bit kind of non-destructive. All right. You don't have to do that. It's not a big thing. You can still work in one and it's still fine. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the low. Oopsie. And I'm only going to work on the high. And the high, once again, is the texture. Okay. So what I'm going to work off of is her texture. And all I'm going to do is just blur the texture. So the way that we do this is you click on S on the keyboard. That's the shortcut form for clone. Okay. So S, and then we're working off a clone. All right. Now, I kind of always get this, so I almost always say this in almost any time that I'm doing a tutorial. So you see here, I can move the brush and make it big, make it small, make it hard, make it soft. That didn't sound right. Right.
Super pause. Super pause.
The way that you do that, if you're on a Mac, it's Control Option, and then you're going to click the mouse, the left hand on the mouse, and move it left to right. It's going to make it bigger or smaller. If you move it up and down, right, that's going to feather it or make it more dense, right? See how I said feather and dense, not hard and soft? Yeah, let's not go there. All right. If you're on a PC, it's going to be Alt, and then you're going to hit the right click button on your mouse and then move it left to right, and it's going to do the same thing. All right. And okay, so let's get into it. So I'm on just texture, the high. We're on the clone tool. I'm going to clone a piece of the skin, and all I'm going to do is rub it over the tattoo. And I'm just going to do this a couple times. And the reason I'm doing this is because the tattoo as much as the tattoo is color, it also has a little bit of texture. You can also actually see the texture. See kind of where like the skin is bubbling from how the tattoo is and yada, 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 the scar of the tattoo and all that kind of stuff. So you want to go over that with the texture to make it all flat. And that's what we're doing. We're just kind of cloning pieces of the skin that are flat over the tattoo to make it flat, to make the texture flat, because the texture of the tattoo is kind of bubbly, it's kind of grainy, it's kind of all these different things. So I'm just going to go over it very kind of sporadically. It doesn't have to be perfect, and just kind of make the tattoo as flat as possible from the rest of the pieces of the skin. Okay. Once you feel you did all that and it's kind of as flat and whatever as you can get it from the rest of the skin, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to click off of the high, and we're just going to click on the low. All right. Now, the first thing you notice when you click on the low, the subject should be blurred a little bit, right? Because it's just focusing on color. It's not focusing on texture, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the pen brush, and we're going to go over to the mixer brush tool. Now, for those of you who are watching who have never used the mixer brush tool, a lot of times the mixer brush tool, and the way you do it is you just hover over the object of the brush tool, which is going to be on the left-hand side, and you click on your mouse and you just hold it, and all these options will pull up. A lot of times the mixer brush tool will not pop up right away, especially if you've never used it before. A lot of times it's a hidden feature in Photoshop. Photoshop has done this for a lot of different features that were like very usable back in the day. Why, I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. I have no idea. I don't own Adobe. The best thing that I can tell you guys is go into, once again, I'm not going to go over this because it'll take forever, but just go to, Javier has to use a bathroom. You can just say it. I have to tinkle. But basically, for some reason, Photoshop hid certain features. Why that is, I have no idea. Once again, I'm not going to go over how to find the wet brush tool. It's once again a very simple thing to find in tutorials. Just go to YouTube, go to find wet brush, and it will talk you through how to find the wet brush. Once the wet brush is in there, this is how the wet brush works. So you'll have wet, load, mix, flow, right? This is the best thing I can tell you. When you're starting off with the wet brush, make the mix and the flow very low in the percentage, right? You can make the wet and the load between 50 and 30, right? And then make the mix part and the flow part really, really low, like 1%, 5%, 10%. You don't want to go higher than that until you get used to it. Why do I say that? Because the way that the wet brush works is literally like a wet paintbrush. So imagine you took a paintbrush and you dipped it in a whole bunch of paint, right? And then you started smearing it across your canvas, right? is going to smear a ton of paint. And then it's like, oh, snap, it's too much paint. I got to take it back, whatever, so on and so forth. That's pretty much how the wet brush works. The wetter the brush, the more mix and flow you have in the brush, the wetter the brush, the more paint you put into the brush. And the way that the wet brush works is that you're smearing one form of color onto the next. You're literally smearing the color. That's literally how it works. So the lesser that you have the mix and the flow, the less color you're smearing into the other. All right. Now I have it at 20, but I'm very used to using it, so I know how much to smear. Okay. And then I'm going to show you. And when you do this, you want your brush to be as feathered as possible. So let me make the brush bigger. This is feathered. This is dense. Feathered, dense. You want to make it as feathered as possible. Okay. Once it's feathered, there's two techniques you want to use with this. One is just smearing the paint right on top of the other. And notice how I'm doing this. I'm taking the part of the paint, the part of the color that I want of her skin, and I'm literally smearing it on top. Grab another smear, grab another smear, grab another smear, and I'm just doing it really fast. And that's what you get. So that's one technique of smearing it this way. Another technique is to hold the mouse down or brush down and then paint in circles and smear it. It works the same way. And notice already how we're getting rid of the tattoo. Now, the biggest thing with getting rid of the tattoo that we want to do, and I did that very, very fast, so I'm going to take it back a bit. Undo almost all of this. The biggest thing that you want to pay attention to when you're doing this is you want the tattoo in the skin to look normal and not look just like this giant blemish on the hand, right? So the way that you do that is I'm only going to take pieces in what I'm smearing. And right now I'm going to do circles because it's a little bit faster. But notice I got to be careful. So I'm going to start at the bottom and kind of push up and then kind of circle up. Now you got to be careful with the circle sometimes because the circle can grab the part you don't want to grab and smear that too. And then I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to once again smear down and then circle down. So I usually do a combination of the two. And what we're going to do is we're just simply blending the skin, the color, I should say, over the tattoo until it looks natural. All right. And we're going to keep going. Javier, are you back?
Nope.
He's not back yet. I think that young man was drinking. All right. So as you guys see, we're kind of going over and over and over this, and you kind of see what's happening. All right. Shout out to Josh Mills because he was the first to show me this. Because before this, I was cloning skin, which took forever.
But that took a long time.
Bruh, you have no idea. This is a lot faster to creating that process.
Okay,
right.
and I'm back.
He's back. Hey, he's back. All right, so Javier, what you missed when we're kind of going over this is how
I could hear. I just couldn't see.
Gotcha. Okay, so thank you. I don't have to repeat myself.
I could hear. I just couldn't see.
Okay, so before and after, right? Now it looks a little crazy, as you can see, right? Because she had a whole lot of tattoo going on. Before, after. So it's not exactly perfect. It's a little all over the place. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm still going to stay on the clone brush tool. And there's one thing that I didn't talk about, and that was this little option right here, right? So this option is load brush, clean brush, right? I'm sorry. Am I on the right option? I am on the right option. I'm not on the right option. My bad. I didn't mean low brush, clean brush. Leave that what it is. It's this tool right here. So this tool is clean the brush after each stroke, right? So what we're going to do is check. So when you check it, it's going to be highlighted and darker like that. When you uncheck it, it's going to be gray like that. We're going to uncheck it. Now, this is what the uncheck does. So what it means by clean the brush after each stroke, that means every time you saw me click and pull down, it clicked and pulled down that color. When you uncheck it, it's going to keep the exact color that you clone stamped, right? The exact color that you copied. So I'm going to hold Option Alt on a PC, and I'm going to simply click which color I want it to represent. And I'm just going to, color in that color. Then I'm going to pick another color. Same thing, Alt or Option on PC. And I'm going to color that in. Pick another color. Oopsie. And color that in. Another color. Color that in. And all I'm doing is just getting this a little bit more straighter. All right. Now, this also takes a little bit of knowledge of understanding color and color and skin to know which pieces to take and so forth. And you can see right here, it's cloning that color. So it's not going to repeat the color from the start. It's just going to keep that one main color. All right. So once I kind of get that where I want it, right? And it's not perfect, but it's a little something. I'm doing this really fast. What I'm then going to do on top of that is I'm going to go opacity, and I'm going to take the opacity back to about 70, maybe 80%, right? Now, we're still going to see some of the tattoo. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole process of this, but usually what I'll do is I will save everything or merge everything that I did with this frequency separation. And then I will create another frequency separation and do the same thing. I'll do a couple steps of this, and what will happen is it will gradually, naturally take away the tattoo, and it will look natural, and the skin will look natural.
Right.
All right. If you do it harshly, just the way that I did it, you're not going to get that natural look. You got to take the opacity back and kind of do it step by step by step, and you'll kind of get it perfect right from the jump. You already kind of see right here, if I zoom in, you already see how it's starting to fade but look natural, right? So if I do this a couple more steps, it's going to look natural compared to if I just try to do it one off the bat and keep playing with the color. You know, I mean, unless you're that dope of an artist in a color, you know, and a painter, then you can pull it off. But I'm not that dope, so I'm going to do it step by step by step, and that's what's going to give me this look. Now I'm going to bring back the texture by clicking on the high again, and you see the difference. Look how that tattoo is just nice and faded, but we still have the texture. And I'm just going to do it a couple more times and so forth. So what I do is I collapse this folder of the frequency separation. I hit Command E if you're on a PC. On a Mac, if you're on a PC, you're going to hit, Control E? Control E. Control G. And it's going to merge the layer. I'm going to merge the layer down, and I'm literally just going to do the same step again.
So what I usually do actually is I go to the top layer and Control Alt Shift E, and that makes a new layer above this layer.
So yeah, you don't. So I would disagree. You don't want to merge. So certain things you want to merge layers. Merge up, as they call it. Mm-hmm. Certain things you want to merge up, certain things you don't. The reason we want to be careful with merge up is because merge up is working very destructively. Because merge up is literally creating a flat layer on top of everything. So it's taking everything you did and making one flat layer. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if you want to go back and change anything, you kind of can't. You're going to have to erase that flat layer.
Well, the way I do, I put a flat layer on top of preserving all the layers underneath.
It doesn't matter. That flat layer is still that flat of everything you did. So if you start working on top of that again, you're going to have to then come all the way back down, erase that flat layer, and come back to get to the original of what you were working on. So you're working destructive. There's times when you should work destructive, right? The main way I work destructive with merging up is when I want to go back into camera raw. Unfortunately, Photoshop has not made a way to where you can go back into camera raw and not work destructively. They need to fix that. They highly, highly do. Trust me, I've tried everything. You can try smart layers, you can try smart filters. There's still no way to work back off of camera raw and still be able to continue on without it affecting everything. There's just no way to do it. So that's kind of when I merge up. Past that, I'm very careful when I merge up because, once again, you're affecting everything to where you can't go back. But I mean, granted, it's no different than what I'm doing here because I'm still merging the folder and merging it into the layer. So it's technically the same thing. But anyway, so I'm going to do the same thing. We don't need to mess with high anymore. I'm just going to mess with low. Go back to wet brush, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to click off of the this tool right here, which is clean the brush after every stroke. I don't want to clean the brush after. I'm sorry. I want to be able to pull down from what I did. And once again, I'm going to work sometimes pulling it straight down, and then other times I'm going to work in blending it with the circle. This is a technique that I picked up from a couple people. And kind of same thing. You see, it's kind of blending, so forth, right? But it still looks weird. The arm doesn't look cool. It's okay. We're going to take the opacity, take it down to about, let's take it 60. Back to high, so forth. Merge it, and we're going to do it probably one more time. But you see already how the tattoo is disappearing.
Yeah.
And we have the original arm. Got it?
We got it.
So that's pretty much how it works. All right. So that's how you remove tattoos from a human, but still keep the natural color arm, so on and so forth. Any questions?
Who are you again? No, I don't know. I don't have any questions.
Cool. So yeah, man. So that's about it. That's kind of how you remove a tattoo and so forth. So it depends on the level of the tattoo and what you're doing. You know what I mean? I've never had to remove like a crazy like full body tattoo. Granted, I've seen people do it. That's complicated.
That seems intense.
Usually it's like a small tattoo, things like that, a couple tattoos here and there, yada yada yada. That stuff is easy. You guys are going to find that to be a breeze. You probably won't even have to do the merge and do it again and all that.
Yeah, that's just
when it's more thick and kind of like a sleeve and all that kind of stuff, it becomes a little bit more difficult. And then once again, it depends on the picture. 9 times out of 10, the client, they want tattoos these days. It just depends. Like I've done stuff for like fashion companies, modeling companies, sometimes even Justin, who I'm getting ready to work with on Monday. He might ask me to like remove a tattoo because he wants it to look clean and professional and all that kind of stuff. But usually it's small tattoos and it's not that bad. And that's it.
Nice. Yeah, that's interesting. That's not a. I would have thought. I would have tried to paint it. Just paint it in between with the.
It would have took forever.
Yeah,
it would take forever to do it that way.
It would.
Yeah, just smear it, clean it, clean it, and you'll get the effects you want.
Yeah. Like
So Xavier, any other questions that you have? Anything else that you want to learn?
No, to be honest, what I'm kind of need for my current project now, I pretty much answered everything for pretty much what I need to do. As far as definitely with the neon stuff, definitely with what he did, I'm definitely going to do, and definitely with this frequency separation, with like the close-ups and the stuff like that I got to do with some people, because some people aren't naturally facially blessed. So this is gonna help out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to even with this subject, you kind of see like she has blemishes and stuff like this over here and so forth. Usually the combination that we do with this, Rob does the same thing. A little bit of the heal tool. We'll heal it first and then go into frequency separation and work our way back from that. Xavier, you know how to use a heal tool and all that, right?
I'm gonna just say no.
Okay. Are you just saying that, or
the term didn't reckon off was like fresh off the top of my brain, so I'm just gonna say no. But maybe when you do it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I did that.
All right, so the heal tool is right here, healing tool. Usually it will look like
heal. I thought
healing.
You said heal, like
I'm sorry,
heal, like somebody.
Oh, my bad. Healing, like a doctor heals.
Oh yeah, I got you.
So you go to the heal tool, very simple. You clone the parts you want, and I usually just use circles for this. It blends it a lot faster.
Oh yeah,
and it will clean up
That's how
majority
I clean
of all this stuff. Now it's not perfect because it'll create a lot of blemishing as you're kind of starting to see a lot of cloudy looking type stuff. Now, once you get that, that's what you're going to go back in with frequency separation and using the wet brush in the color to clean up.
Gotcha.
All right. So yeah, so we heal this, whatever. I'm gonna do this real fast. Bada bing, right? But it looks real blemishy and everything else in how it works, right?
Now, normally after this, where I think me and John differ a little bit, is I will do a micro dodge and burn layer to even out the skin before going into my frequency separation.
So me and Rob use dodge and burn period a lot different. I use dodge and burn for just highlights and darkens period. I don't use dodge and burn to fix skin. I just use frequency separations because it's a lot faster.
Yeah.
So I'll clean up her skin like that. I'll go right in frequency separation. Same thing. And then I'm just going to click off of the highs for the texture because we're just working with color here. I'm going to click on that wet brush again. And then I'm literally going to use circles here. And I'm just going to kind of clean up the way this is. Bada bing.
Okay.
And just like that. Very, very simple. Right? So before, after, before, after, before, after. Now it's a little too much. That's fine.
But
all I'm going to do is take the opacity
and lower it.
Take it back about 50%. Drop back in the high so you see the detail. And here you go. Before, after, before, after.
Let me show them real quick because some of this.
Layer. I actually have to log out. I'm about to. I gotta have dinner with the family. They've been kind of waiting on me.
See these young kids? They're always busy, Rob.
Having dinner with their families.
Never got time for us old folks. See
what guys? Come on now.
But nah, it's a good time actually. So yeah, so that's about it, bro. Appreciate you being on, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys having me, man. Next time, hopefully, I can give some tips and tricks to my style. I call my style more of an eclectic mood type of style.
Nice.
So hopefully next time I'm on here, I get to do that.
We'll have you back on.
100%.
Sure,
yeah. All right, John. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Rob, as always,
pleasure to meet you, man.
Page.
Yeah, man.
All right, pimpin'.
All right.
Pimp up, pimp down.
Well, all right.
See ya, man.
Yeah.
So that was good, man. So yeah, so you already know.
I already know.
As far as the techniques go. So yeah, man, that's about it. I don't really have much more to say as far as what we went over today. I think we covered quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think we got a lot. So yeah, we just gotta get keep on moving. So,
keep on. So yeah, man. So those of you who tuned in, thank you so much.
100%.
Cre8ive, am I saying that right? Kira
Rose? Yeah.
I'm gonna say Kira Rose, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes,
everybody,
100%.
Thank you for checking in on us. Everybody that will tune in later, I'm pretty sure. Thank you for checking us out. And once again, myself, John Darko Chapman, and to my right now, how'd you get over there?
It depends on who comes up first. So yeah. So yep, it's Robert Waters. We signing off. We appreciate you guys in the pit. And yeah, we're gonna keep on doing it. We'll be here again next week.
Yes, sir. See you guys next week. Same time, same channel. We'll have a good interview. And yeah, have a good night.
All right.
Deuces.